So nowadays, almost every real-world application works with CSV files. These CSV files could be for customer records, sales reports, Excel exports, log files, but many Python beginners either use the wrong approach or get confused by commas, headers, and file path. So in the next few minutes, I am going to show you how to exactly read CSV files in Python the right way using practical examples that you can actually use in real projects. So if you are learning Python, sooner or later you need to work with CSV files, and in this video tutorial we are going to cover some key topics around this, like what is CSV file, create sample CSV file, reading CSV properly in Python, handling headers properly, read rows one by one, and some basic error handling. Now if you are wondering what CSV is, it simply stands for comma separated values. It is one of the most common formats used to exchange data between the application. Let me show you a simple example here. So I am jumping to my Visual Studio Code screen and I already have a simple CSV file. Here you can see this example file where the first line represents the headers. So for example, name, age and city, and after the first line, each line represents a row and commas separate the value. So without any further delay, let's understand how to read CSV files properly in Python. So I have created this app.py file. Now Python already provides a built-in module called CSV. So we don't need to install anything externally. So first of all, we are going to import the CSV module. Now we need to understand how to use the CSV module, and first we need to open a CSV file. Now this we have already covered in one of the previous tutorials also, like how we can usually open a file. This is with the with open keyword. So I will type with open, and open here is a method where first I have to pass the file name. So for example, data.csv I'm going to pass, and then I need to define the mode of the file. For example, I am going to read this file in the read mode, so I will put it as R, and then I need to take this up as an file object. So I will define as and keep file as an object name and put a colon, and let's come to the next line. So with this we have successfully opened the data.csv file. Now if we need to read the file, let's use the csv.reader method. So let me define an object reader, then we are going to use the CSV module csv.reader, and this reader method is going to take the file object. Now all the data of the CSV file is stored in this reader object. Now if I have to iterate through each line, I need to use a for loop to iterate through each row. So I'm going to use for loop here. For, let's consider this row. For row in reader, I'm going to print the row. So let's print each row separately. Now let me run this code. So here you can notice that each row is returned as a list. That's why csv.reader is useful. It automatically parses the CSV structure for us. Next, let's understand how to handle header rows. So most CSV files contain header rows, as we have also seen in this example that name, age, city is the header. So how we can handle this separately? So for this I am going to simply add one more variable header, for which I am going to define next, and next I am going to pass reader, and then I can print the header. Let's run this code. Let me comment the rows. Now next let's try again. So here what's happened, the next function read the first row so we can separate headers from the actual data. This is something you will do very frequently in real world projects. Now next let's see how we can access individual columns. For this I am commenting the print statement of header. I will come in this row for loop. So here instead of printing the entire row, we can access specific values using index value. So let me define name, equals to row, and from the row I need only first element, and let's also take the age, and for the age I am going to take the first index value. Now let's print the name and age. I am going to do name comma age in the print function. Now let's first clear the screen and let's run this code. So here you can see this is how we can access individual column values. This is useful when processing customer data, reports, or exported application data. Now one common mistake beginners frequently make is assuming that file always exists. So for example, here if I have incorrectly used the name of the file from data.csv to users.csv, and if I run this code, I am going to get an exception. So as an experienced developer, we should always consider how we can handle some common errors. For example, in this case, what we can do, we can add a try except block. Let me quickly add a try block here. Let me move everything inside the try block. And for the try block, I will define an except block where I know the exception that which is FileNotFoundError, and for every FileNotFoundError we can print a proper error message stating that CSV file not found. Now if we run this, we will get a proper error message stating that the file not exists. So in that case we can check the file spelling and all. So as a developer with years of experience, here are 3 habits I will recommend from day 1. First one is to always use with open. Then we should always consider using csv.reader instead of splitting strings, and always try to have basic error handling for missing files. These small habits will save you from many bugs later. Today we have learned how to open a CSV file, read rows using csv.reader, handle headers, access column values, and how we can add basic error handling. Now in the next video, we will go deeper and learn advanced CSV techniques like dict reader, filtering data, writing CSV files, handling large datasets, and real-world automation workflow. So thank you so much for watching this video. If this helped you, subscribe for more practical Python tutorials, and if you have any suggestion, you can email us at the given email ID. And do not forget to check out our next video, because most developers know csv.reader but few knows when they should switch to dict reader, how to process millions of rows without running out of memory, or how to handle encoding problems from Excel exports. We will cover all that in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. We will meet you in the next one.